guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a review, first impressions on the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro Glow. I know this foundation isn't super new, however it's new to me, so I wanted to try it out for the summertime for a light, nice foundation that just gives me a natural glow, nothing too heavy, but also where I can build it up where I need it, but just to mainly give me an overall even skin tone and a nice dewy glow. Let's just get right into it. The shade that I picked up is the shade 203 Nude Beige, and this may be a tad too dark, however I color matched it to my chest. My face and my neck are a little bit more pale than the rest of my body, and I want it all to blend and flow with my whole upper body, not just my neck, not just my face. It would be totally off if I color matched to my face or my neck. So we're just gonna make sure everything blends and flows nicely. It may be a tad too dark, but I did go with a darker shade rather than a lighter one because it is summertime, and over the next few weeks I'm sure I'm going to get a little more color, so it'll probably be a perfect match in a few weeks. And worst case scenario, I can lighten it up a little bit with some concealer and kind of like reverse contouring or whatever it's called. So we're just gonna see how this works. I totally just scratched the heck out of my shoulder, so don't mind that. But let's just get right into it. I normally go ahead and conceal areas that need more coverage. However, because I want to see what kind of coverage this gives me on its own, I am not going to do that today. I will normally do it on a daily basis, and I'm sure I will after this video, but just to give you guys an idea of how well it covers, if you're not into concealing areas, it'll just kind of give you a better idea of what it does and how it works on its own. I'm going to be using this Morphe blending sponge. It's like the contour sponge. I just picked this up the other day when I picked up the foundation as well. I haven't used it yet, but I can already tell it's not like as bouncy as the Beauty Blender is, but I'm hoping that I like it. I've tried multiple blending sponges and I just always go back to the Beauty Blender because there's just something about it that's just so, just like bounces nicely, and I don't know, I really like the Beauty Blender, but I'm hoping I like this because this is a little bit more affordable than the Beauty Blender, and I've heard people raving about it, so I'm sure I will like it. So that's what I am going to do, so let's just get right into it. I'm just gonna put some on the back of my hand and work off the back of my hand like I normally do. So I'm just going to take the sponge, dab it in a little bit, and I'm going to start and focus on the areas that I need the most coverage and then blend it kind of outward over my face. I will say one layer just kind of evened everything out. It didn't cover areas that I need coverage, which I didn't expect it to. I don't expect any foundation to unless it's a super full coverage foundation. But for one layer, it did just kind of even everything out, take some of the redness away, make my skin just a little more even. I will say this is definitely, like I said, it's not as bouncy as a Beauty Blender, so I feel like I'm hitting my face more. I'm kind of wondering if it'll be different with the Beauty Blender, so I think I'm going to just do this side with this Morphe sponge and then do the other side with the Beauty Blender just to see if there's a difference. But I'm just going to go back in. I'm going to add another layer to see how well it builds up and to see if I can cover up some more of this little disaster we got going on over here. Okay, so that is the second layer. I like the coverage of this, however I am gonna need to go in probably just one more time over this area. If I concealed beforehand, I wouldn't have to go in again, but like I said, I wanted to not conceal just to see how it is on its own. However, if I did conceal, it probably would only need to go over one nice layer of this, and it would be enough coverage for me because I don't like full coverage everywhere. I like a light coverage over my whole face and then just more full coverage where I need it in the areas that I have some issues going on. And I like doing that because it just makes your skin look flawless. If you tend to go heavy all over, your skin just looks heavy, and I just like the way the natural glow and the way my skin looks with less coverage. As for the color, I think it matches my chest pretty well. I am going to take it down my neck in a second so it blends, because my neck and my face are paler than the rest of my body. We want to match it to the chest just so everything is nice. If I matched it to my neck or my face, it would just be like 2 shades lighter than the rest of my body. So you just want to make sure everything flows. So as I am doing it, it looks a little bit darker, but that's because I am matching it to the rest of my face. I have more of a pinky undertone, and it's really hard to find foundations with more of a cool undertone. So this is a little warmer, however, I don't hate it. When I go in with concealer, bronzer, blush, and everything will blend more nicely. Because lately when I film and I go and put it on my computer and I start to edit, it just looks super, like my chest looks super red and then my face looks super like yellowy, and the coloring is just totally off. So I'm really hoping that I did change some settings on my camera, so I'm really hoping that it picks up what I see in person. It's gonna look like a little pinky and discolored now, but that's because my skin is so sensitive, and if I barely touch it, it starts to get like pinky. It's super annoying. Hello, sensitive skin. Whatever, we're just gonna deal with it, roll with it. So it is all, I can tell it's all going to match very nicely. Before I move on to the other side of my face, here is just, I'm gonna show you what it looks like with the foundation. Again, there's no concealer whatsoever. This is just the foundation on its own. Here's no foundation, foundation. Okay, so now I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side, just using my beauty blender, just to see if it gives any sort of a different finish, because it is a little more bouncy. I kind of feel like I had to pound my face a little more with the Morphe sponge. So let's just go in with the beauty blender. I always take my foundation down my neck. Even if it's literally the same color as my neck, I just take it down because I am so fair and I have more of a cool undertone. It kind of just tends to get more veiny, more discolored, so I just like to take it down my neck. Not a super like thick layer, but literally just the thinnest layer, just to make sure it all blends nicely and it is just nice and even. So here is the foundation on both sides. Morphe blending sponge, beauty blender. Honestly, I think they look the exact same. I feel like it went quicker with the beauty blender just because it was easier to like blend out, but the result is the exact same. And again, I probably just have to get used to the Morphe sponge because I'm just so used to using my beauty blender for so long. Even when you switch to just a different beauty sponge, it is different. So you just have to get used to it. So I will continue to be using this and testing it out, using it different ways. But this is the foundation on its own. No concealer, nothing. I love the finish of it. I'm gonna go ahead and give you my first thoughts real quick. I love the finish of it. The coverage is really nice. It's a light to medium buildable coverage, so you can definitely add layers. I did get more medium to full coverage over areas where I needed it, and a nice light layer everywhere else, which is what I love. It gives me such a natural, glowy finish. My skin looks healthy, which is super important to me, especially when I am breaking out. It's very important for me to have healthy looking skin when it's not so healthy. So that's something that I look for in a foundation, just to give me a nice, like I'm glowing from within, and that I actually do have healthy skin. So I love the finish. So far I love it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish my makeup. I'm just gonna do what I normally do. I'm not gonna do anything different today, and then I will be back to show you how everything looks all together. So this is the final result with the rest of my makeup on. I just threw on a brow, some mascara, bronzer, blush, and a highlighter, and some lip gloss, and this is what it looks like. I think it looks super pretty. My skin looks pretty flawless, obviously, besides the little breakouts that I got going on that you can't really disguise a bump besides making it into a beauty mark, which I'm not about. So other than that, my skin looks super nice and flawless and glowy and pretty, and I'm super happy with the result.